To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so I'm back at the tiny house build again today. Today I'm not going to be able to get much done. And I'm not sure I'm going to get a lot done probably for the next week. So like I said, I still got some insulation left over from the walls that I'm going to put up on the ceiling. The problem with the insulation, otherwise I'd be hanging it today, is it got wet. One of the bundles got wet right at the fold. These things are folded. They're 8-foot strips here. So they fold in half and it got wet. So I immediately went to the manufacturer's website and started looking around, and insulation, if it gets wet, it's okay. As long as it's at the construction site, just lay it out and let it dry, which is what I'm doing. I got it laying out all over the yard here. You might be able to see it through the window. I've got it all laid out. And 3 of the sheets have already dried. 3.5 sheets have already dried. So maybe tomorrow or the next day I can hang it. But I'm not going to be in a big rush. I don't want it to mold. It says once you put it up in the walls, it won't dry in the walls. So get it good and dry now, and then I don't have to worry about it ever again. So yesterday was a very stressful day for me. Oh, man. So the first thing I did yesterday was I ordered underlayment for the floor, and I'm not even sure that's what it's called. I don't remember what it's called, but so this is our flooring material here. Our neighbor gave this to us. I got a video on that. He just stopped by one day, said he had a bunch left over, and he thought that this would be enough to finish our tiny house, and there's a lot here. So I might be able to start working on the floor pretty soon. Also, I ordered the metal roofing material. So as I've said in a lot of videos now, I'm going to put metal roofing on the roof, of course, and then I'm going to put metal roofing on the walls outside and the trim. And it was just so very confusing trying to learn the names of everything. You got gable rakes and cap trims and fascia plates and eaves trim and corner trim and L trim, and it was like, it took me a month to learn the names of all the things that I'm going to need. Well, my dad sent me a webpage of a manufacturer down in Florida that has videos on how to install it all. So I've been reviewing this webpage. Well, when I got to clicking around the webpage and learning, trying to learn how to install it and all the names of everything, I noticed that there was a company here in Missouri also. So they have multiple companies, one in Florida, one in Missouri, just all over the country. And it said 3-day shipping. Fantastic. I'm definitely going to give them a call. Carolyn had found a company close by on Facebook, a manufacturer also. And then I had my backup plan, which was Menards. Menards is the place I've been looking at for probably 6 months. The problem with Menards is you don't get to speak to anybody. Nobody really knows what it is that you're going to want to do. So you have to go onto the website and order all these components all by yourself. You have to put in your dimensions all by yourself. What size is this wall, which is 11 feet 5 inches to the ground. This wall is 10 feet. The roof's 8 feet. So you got to know how many pieces you need, the dimensions. I wasn't sure that I was ready to do that. So again, research. So yesterday, Carolyn and I decided we're going to take the money out. I said this in a previous video. We're going to take the money out of savings and we're just going to go buy it. So I called the company that Dad sent the webpage to over there in southeast Missouri. They're about 275 miles away from us. And it said shipping, 3 days, and the whole deal. I thought I was not very knowledgeable. These guys manufactured the metal roofing. They got different colors and they cut it to the size that you want. So when you tell them, yeah, I need 12 pieces, 8 feet, 1 inch long or 2 inches long. Now the trim, they come in standard lengths, whatever the length is, 10 feet, 12 feet, 14 feet. And so you have to cut those yourself. So I started explaining what I had. Now I knew what I wanted. I knew I needed 12 pieces for the roof or whatever, but I thought it would be better if the experts told me what I needed instead of me telling them, the experts, what I thought I needed. I didn't want to confuse the conversation. So the first thing I said is I got a 12 by 16 foot building. I have an 18-foot roof. Now remember, the reason my roof is bigger than my house because I have overhangs on the sides. So I got a foot overhang on this side and a foot overhang on that side. And he says, sir, you're mistaken. How do you have your roof bigger than your pole barn? I said, I don't have a pole barn, I have a building. Well, we only make metal for pole barns. Really? Why is that? I've looked at all your stuff and it clearly shows that you make metal roofing material for houses. He says, yeah, we do. And so he's confused. I can already tell he's confused. So I explained to him that my roof is bigger because I have overhangs. Okay, I guess. I don't understand, he says. Now remember, these guys are the experts. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never built a building before. I've never bought metal roofing material. And I'm already starting to see that I'm more qualified than this guy. So before I got too much further, I said, do you ship your material? He said, yeah. So I thought, okay, well, now we can start rolling. And I said, well, here's what I'll do. I'll just tell you what I think I need. If you see that I have a problem, let me know. Okay. So I tell him I need this many pieces and I need the gable rakes. And he's like, okay, what's next and what's next and what's next? He's not telling me, giving me any information that I can use. And finally, I said, okay, so I guess I need to know what the price of that is, because I didn't want to go too much higher than what Menards was going to charge. And he says, well, first let's figure out how far away you are. And I said, so I Googled that because he didn't want to do much. And it was 275 miles. And he says, oh no, we only ship 150 miles. He says, you'll have to provide your own shipping. Then I called the one Carolyn had found. Now it was closer. It was like 60 miles away. And I called them and they were right up front. No, we don't ship. Okay. So, strike two. So finally I went over to the Menards and I just started putting everything into the cart. You click it, you say what size you want, how many pieces you want, you hit save to cart, and then it goes to the next piece, Well, while I'm at Menards, I realized, oh yeah, I need screws and all the accessories also. And I thought, that guy never asked me if I wanted screws or the little seals that go underneath it. And I thought, how does this guy make any money? So I guess it's just the professionals use this guy, this manufacturer. If you can do it on your own, you're on your own. There is absolutely no information out there to make this easier. I get all the pieces and I review it, I bet a dozen times. Now here's the thing is the screws. The screws is what's interesting. Menards, it says, okay, products you may want to go along with this. And it said screws. And I said, oh yeah. So I clicked screws, $100 for a 20-pound bag. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm literally calculating out how many screws I'm gonna need on each wall. I figured that I only needed like half a bag actually. So I ordered one bag. Now I am absolutely 100% positive that I had that one bag in my cart, because as much time as I took looking at this one bag, I click pay and I enter in my credit card information. Then it says, okay, in order to ship it, you have to buy crates. So they put all this in crates, and these crates are apparently returnable. And each crate was like $100. And then they give you an extra piece of material that you gotta buy. The extra piece of material is to protect the regular material. So this $1,500 project is already up to $1,900 in my cart. Oh, it just makes me sick. Well, I get a receipt. It tells me everything's on it except 3 items. About an hour later, I get another receipt that says I got 1 item. Okay, so that means there's 2 items missing. So I'm expecting another receipt to come through with my additional 2 items. One being the screw and one being this ridge cap up here. Well, Menards calls me, the shipping department, and he's reading through all the items that I have. But he doesn't mention the screws and the ridge cap. And he says, well, you're going to have to call the front office. So I call the front office and this gal answers, and she's really trying to be helpful, trying to understand where these other 2 pieces are. The boss says there's no way the website charged him for the screws or the ridge cap. Those screws were on there, but he's convinced that I didn't pay for it. So I ended up having to buy that again. Now the ridge cap, remember, I had to buy another shipping container. The girl tells me though, when the material is received at Menards, I will be reimbursed the crates. Boy, I hope so. That brings me right back down to the price that I was expecting, which is about $1,500. In the previous videos, I've said that the metal roofing was my biggest nightmare. I've been really worried about it. And sure enough, right out of the gate, I had a problem. I ordered something so I may have spent an extra $165 on the screws and the ridge cap. I may have bought that twice. There's just no way to know because when I got the receipt, it wasn't on there. So the only way I could have proven if I bought it is if I'd had a screenshot of my cart. There is nothing better though than being well versed and have researched and studied and educated. I have studied this since January. This is November. So I hope I can encourage you that you seriously research your dream. Thanks for watching.